What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's well, making your dreams come true, making it do what it do. I want to drop a quick video about a couple of videos that I saw on Instagram that were really kind of troubling to me, but they are what they are. So I'm going to drop those, play the videos, and I'm going to get right back to it. And I'm going to try to tie these together about men who have their stuff together, men who have their ish together, particularly men over 50 who have their ish together. So first of all, hit the like button, subscribe, share, become a member, members only, become a member so you can watch the members only content, etc., etc. The minimum, hit the like button. Let's make it do what it do. Of course, Cash Apps and Venmo are always appreciated, but the minimum I'm asking for is just that you hit the like button, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's get into it here. I want to drop a first video here, and it's a video I saw about a lady who was complaining about men in their 50s.
Opinion, but I'm going to tell you something most of you don't know about men. When they're in their 50s and they've been married and they're dating, it's the worst era. And sadly but truly, I've been through every era of men, and this is the age where they like to breadcrumb. They want pen pals because they've got their careers, they've got their sports cars, they've got their money, they've got their ex-wives, their kids, they're busy. They want to date, they want to get laid. But what they don't want to do is connect and communicate because they've somehow lost that skill in all the years of being married and just dealing with kids and sports and transacting and vacations and climbing in the corporate ladder. They haven't had to do much because the women handled a lot of the stuff at home, so they haven't had to deal with the emotional connection. So these guys, and I literally have like 10 examples I was showing my friend, like they'll reach out as if they're madly in love with you, and then you respond normally, just like, yep, thanks, doing great, how are you? And then they dissolve until the next time they just want to surface. They are looking for adult pen pals that perhaps they could sleep with. And I literally sent someone a text saying this communication, this breadcrumb communication style doesn't work for me. If there's something you would like to ask for or need, please reach out, but otherwise, peace the fuck out.
All right, so we saw the video here. This woman was complaining about men who she had dated in her 50s. You know, there's a saying that if you let people talk long enough, they'll reveal themselves, or they're telling themselves. I'm sure that somebody can go through my material and say the same thing about me. I'm telling myself being inconsistent or whatever. But in this particular video, this lady said that she's dated men in all 20, in three or four different age groups, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Maybe, did she say 20s? I don't know. For whatever. I don't know if she said 60s, but she's dated a bunch of men in all these different groups. And the one that she decided to make this video about, I don't know if she made videos about guys in their 20s or 30s or 40s, or if they're 60s, but she's talking about the guys in their 50s. As a 52-year-old man who is, in my estimation, semi-successful, right? And I am in that phase of life of sort of what she talked about, right? My kids are grown. I've got I had relationships, and I am in this different phase in life. And what I wanted to kind of impress upon people is that she's right to the extent that these guys in their 50s. Listen, we're tired of the games. We are tired of the games. I don't want to hear, craziness or nonsense. I don't want to be up for drama. I'm not looking for foolishness. I'm not looking for a project. I'm not looking for parasite. No projects and no parasites, right? Project is somebody I got to build you up. I got to help your self-esteem. I got to help you, establish yourself and get yourself out of the financial hole. I'm not looking for that, nor am I looking for someone who is emotionally immature and who's financially insecure, unavailable, whatever. Can you guys see me here? Yeah, I'm not looking for none of that. I'm not looking for none of that, right? No projects, no parasites, right? I'm not looking for some 20-year-old that I gotta put through school and buy a bunch of stuff and, put a bunch of bracelets on her ring, on her arm, and on her. No, I'm not looking for none of that. I, at this phase of my life, am looking for someone who is stable, secure, mentally sound, and just a good time, just good company. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for, right? Have your stuff together, be together mentally, financially. No baby mama drama, no baby daddy drama. None, all that is crazy. So if you're running into men, if you are running into men who are having these types of issues, you got to start running wherever you're meeting these men at. You got to start making better decisions. And to the point where I was talking about, where people start to telling themselves, here's exactly what I mean about this particular video. Of course, she only made this quick video. I don't know how long it lasts, the totality of the time, or whatever. I don't know anything of that. I just saw it on Instagram, a minute and a half, whatever it is. She said that when a guy reaches out, she said these guys are looking for pen pals, right? But then she said these guys are reaching out and they're, I don't know if she used the word love bomb, but whatever she said, right? They are putting in some type of effort. That was clear in what she said. That was clear that these men who had reached out to her, let me try to adjust these settings here, who had reached out to her had put out some type of effort. And then she hits him back with, you go watch the video again, she hits him back with, yeah, I'm finding you. Listen. If I'm putting in effort, if I am putting in effort, or if a man in his 50s who's got his stuff together, who's got his head on straight, who's got his own house, his car, maybe he has a motorcycle, he's got some stuff, right? Financially secure, whatever that means, right? And he's putting in effort. He wants to see you, he's making calling you up, texting you, putting in an effort, and you hit him back with the finding you. And you can't figure out why this guy's going to stop and going to eventually slide out, peel off, slow down, fade out, whatever. This is on you. This man put in effort. And this is what she said. I didn't say this. She's saying it. The man is putting in effort. He's showing you. Here I am showing up. I fly out to see you. I drive down the street to see you. I drive an hour to see you. I call you up, send you a text, put in some, whatever it is, I'm showing you some type of effort. And your answer is some dry, I'm okay finding you. Listen, this playing it cool, this trying not to look thirsty is keeping people, we are in this competition about who can be the laziest in dating. It is absolutely, and everybody's scared, they're shy, they're bashful, they don't want to put too much in because if they don't, they're afraid of how much they're going to get out. And we're a bunch of traumatized and dramatic people in the U.S. as far as dating. Probably in all of Western, what's going on over here? In all Western society as far as the dating and mating game. And it is just a mess. And this is what's causing men to check out. I got a bunch of other videos. I can't get my lighting here, right? So this is what's causing a lot of men. I'm going to put some screenshots up. Guys are talking about this all over the internet, right? And I'm trying to put up senior men, and even I'll put up some ladies too, right? Where they're just sick of it. They're just sick of it. Just sick of it. It's really a shame because people want companionship. There's people that just want to go to the movies. I just want to go to the movies. I just want to have a good time. I just want to have you over. We'll cook some salmon, throw it on the grill. We just chilling, watching movies, sip on it's nice out, sit on the back porch, sip some wine, eat our food that we made, touch each other's genitals later on, and just have a good time. But we're making it so complicated. I've made videos about this before, making it so complicated. It is absolutely bananas. It's absolutely bananas. And again, this woman is telling herself. I recognize this is a short video clip. I recognize all that. But these things matter. You can't hit nobody back. Nobody who has either built or is building an empire, right? At 50, right? He's probably still building it up, right? He's in that phase. He don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. I don't got time for finding you. I don't got time for that. When I was on the dating apps, I would see, uh, I would see, I would get a message like that, you know, hit you with this, oh, your profile says this, that, and the other. I get hit with back finding you, oh, thank you. Nobody got time for no dry conversations. Nobody got time for that. Listen, if you're over 40 and you don't know how to dialogue and have conversations, you're expecting someone to entertain you. You're expecting someone to put all... Listen, those days are done. Those days are done. Women have said we level up. We said you want an emotionally mature man. Emotionally mature men are not going to deal with that type of foolishness. We're not going to deal with that. I don't got time for that. Right? These men are either built or building an empire. I'm in a place where listen, my career days are behind me. I got, I'm doing what I got to do as far as the pension. What I'm building right now, and number one priority for me is my health, making sure I'm healthy and well. Number two is building up my various YouTube platforms. Three, I'm going to be writing some books. That's what I don't got time, and that is time consuming. It's mentally draining sometimes, thinking about stuff, got to come up with stuff, organizing books and book details and how it's going to be laid out and getting your research. I don't got time to be dealing with you and your finding you stuff. I don't got time for it. So if you're wondering why, she dated all these different people, and these people sometimes they put this stuff out as if it is a flex. Oh, I've dated 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and these guys in the 50s, right? They're on some other stuff, right? They are fading out. They just want a pen pal, and because they've dealt with the nonsense before. They've dealt with it. They dealt with it, and they were the 20-year-olds. They were the 30-year-olds. They dealt with the inconsistency. They've dealt with the emotional dysregulation. They dealt with the kids and the baby mama drama and the child support and divorce. They dealt with it all. They don't want to. You think a guy in his 50s want to hear any of that? Want to talk about any of that? You think that, right? And again, you think it's a flex that you've dated all these men, but isn't it proof that you haven't even hooked any of these dudes for a long term? Why are you still dating these men? Still in the dating phase, still trying to figure out, trying to find these dudes. If you just want to hook up with a bunch of different dudes, that's fine. But presumably, you want to build something longer than that. That's the point. Now, if you just want to date these dudes, you just into it, okay, that's fine too. But don't complain about the men who are in their 50s who have something going on, who are either like where I am in my stage, either have built my empire, right? I mean, there's still some things, some tentacles out there trying to make sure that it's continuing to go up as far as residual income and stuff. But I'm not on a daily grind, punching a clock, sitting in traffic and stuff, trying to, all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing none of that. So that's where I am. But other guys are still trying to do that, right? They're still banging it. They're still getting up at 4 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. and still trying to build empire. And still, okay, that's fine for them. That's fine. But a guy like that still don't have time. He don't have time for finding you. Hey, baby, I hit you on a text. Hey, baby, I'd like to see you later on. She said love bombing, right? I had a great time last time we met. Great conversations. Oh, I'd love to see you in this dress again, blah, blah, blah. And you have this great conversation. He starts it off, and you're going to hit him with finding you. Okay, yeah, thank you. You're showing him that you don't put any effort in. That's what you want guys to put in effort. Well, this man put in the effort. Go down here to the shade here. So, think about what you're saying and what you're doing, right? So, these people, they put this stuff out as if it were a flex, and it absolutely 100% is not a flex. What you're saying and what you're suggesting is kind of annoying, in all honesty. It's annoying to a man who's on his game. And that's why I'm titling this, when people, the effort, when you got a man who's got his stuff together, they don't got time for that. And listen, I got a video about men who are in the 50s who don't got it together. Stop dating these men. All right, let's get to the next video.
A woman with their together, but then when they get that, they get intimidated and leave for a lesser value woman.
So I find that a lot of times men love the accomplishments of women until it challenges their own. And so sometimes you'll get with men who are used to leading the charge, they're used to being the most successful, and then they come across an ambitious woman like you who, in the beginning, they are very in support of. They want you to do well. They want you to succeed. They're championing you behind the scene. But the moment you start to slide past them a little bit, the moment that it seems like you're creating more success than they have the ability to create, they become really intimidated by that level of success, right? And oftentimes, the other side of that I find is sometimes the successful woman is the challenge for a certain type of men. It feeds their ego. So sometimes they just want to prove that they can get a woman like you because they're looking for the angle to break you down. This is really a game for some men. They're looking for a way to get in so they can say, oh, I got her, but let me also attempt to destroy her. And then I'm going to go and get the woman who I feel like I can qualify for easily, because they don't want to have to do the work for somebody who is personally developed, professionally developed, financially stable. It's a mirror in their face that says, I have to step my stuff up in order to qualify for you. So instead of doing that, I'm going to point out all of your insecurities. I'm going to break you down to your simplest form. And then I'm going to go out and find somebody that I don't have to work as hard for.
And the reason I wanted to get to the next video and talk about this is because, listen, I don't know brothers like this. This is what I'm saying. You know, I hear ladies when they're talking about these are the type of men that they're running into. But I'm going to tell you right now, when I say I don't know these men, I'm saying that I am not, I want to put this correctly, intimately aware of them. I don't mean intimately as sexual. I mean, these people don't run in my circles. Everybody that I was at the police department with, right, I'm rubbing elbows with, right, these people are on their way up. And the reason that I wanted to go up is because I saw them going up. I heard stuff like, if you're the smartest man in the room, you need to be in a different room. You need to change rooms, right? If you're the smartest one amongst your friends, you need to get new friends. That always drove me. And I don't know these men who are not doing it. And I'm not saying that they are not out there somewhere, but I'm saying they are not on my radar, in my circle. I run with people who want to move up, who want to be something. So if you're running into men who are just intimidated and jealous and this and that, and particularly for if you're a high-powered woman and you're running into these type of men who are, according to the video, intimidated, can't this, that, and the other, I seriously doubt the veracity of those types of statements. I think, and this is why you got to talk to men about why men are going out. I don't know, the woman on the stage was talking about, you know, I find. Okay, what survey did you read? And I'm saying this with all sincerity. What survey have you ever read, statistical analysis, that said that the reason that men who are high-powered, successful men who have their stuff together, 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever, right? We're going to drop the age limit down here, right? What type of man is that who's intimidated? I don't understand that. Where are these men at? Because the men that I grew up with, and I was in my 30s, right? These men were pushing forward. Black men. I don't know these men. I don't run any circles with these men. I don't get I may have a conversation with them, but listen, once I figure out I'm doing this, right? I went back to school to get. I was a lieutenant in the police department, right? I'm trying to do this. We're all studying for the captain's test, trying to make some moves, right? I go back to school, get my couple of degrees, right? We're trying to be someone. I don't got time to be in competition with some woman to be tearing her down and this, that, and the other, and then trying to get her in order to humble her and try. Nobody. I don't know a man. I don't know them. So she said she found it. I'd love to hear the men say out their mouth, yeah, you know what? I was trying to tear this woman down. That was kind of a buster move of me to say, I just wanted to get her, to humble her, because I'd love to hear it. I'm being sincere. I'd love to read a survey, a study that says that men who do that have vastly insecure about themselves. I think that the reason that the men do those types of things are, as far as ghosting, falling off, fading out, don't want to be around them, is because women don't have time for them. Now, where do I get that information from? I'm getting it from the vast number of manosphere talking points, readings, blogs, videos that are out there, right? At least that's something. I'm not saying that's verified either. So maybe we need to do to really get to the heart of this. Maybe we ought to do a statistical analysis, or somebody ought to do that, right? To do a survey. Why are you not being with them? But I can show you video after video of women writing in books, saying that the high-powered men don't want those types of women.
The biggest reasons for the marriage rate, the divorce rate these days. Yes, because women have become so masculine. A woman gets in her masculine energy. A lot of times she'll be disrespectful to her husband, and men don't do well with disrespect. You know, there's surveys that say that 80% of men say they would rather be alone and unloved than to be disrespected. And see, the feminist movement has taken it so far over the years to, it's not just equal rights anymore. Now it's men are being diminished and devalued and demoralized. What do we need men for? We don't need men. We can buy our own cars, and we can vote. We can make our own money, run our own businesses. We can even have babies without men. And that makes men feel awful, you know? And if a man, when in a dating relationship, if a man doesn't feel he has anything to contribute to that woman's life, he's got to move on down the road. The feminist
to meet somebody on what we've seen is feminism pushing women into a male life history trajectory, into the role of breadwinner. Men get benefits for doing those kinds of things. Men who follow those trajectories get the prizes, they get the wives, they get the children, they get the resources, they get the good jobs. Their instincts are pushing them towards these resources because, in evolutionary terms, women are attracted to men who have those resources. So men benefit from that. Women pushed into following that trajectory find that men are not looking for women for those resources particularly. They're actually looking for women who are fertile. So they'll spend all their prime kind of reproductive years following this male life history trajectory, get to their 30s and find that all of the male peers are marrying younger women and having children with them. And they're freezing their eggs. If they manage to meet somebody on internet dating and have to go through that, they end up on IVF, and 50% of them end up never having children.
Now, just the other day, we did a video, a live video, and we were talking about. It's for members only, so you got to go over there and watch it. But I think it was members only, and in which we were having a discussion where they were saying that some men were looking for high-powered women, right? So if you're a medical doctor, maybe you want to marry another medical doctor. You're a surgeon, you want to marry another surgeon. But is that man tearing her down? Is that man? I don't understand that. I'm going to get with this woman. She's high power. She's an attorney. She's a corporate CEO, and I'm going to get with her and I'm going to tear her down, make her feel bad about herself. No. I think that. Look at this. The whole parking lot. Why do people do this? This can't be me. If you watch my other videos, it can't be me. There's a whole parking lot. I'm about to go for a walk. There's a whole parking lot full of people, and somebody parks right next to me. So, are these men? I'm going to get with these women, and I'm going to tear them down. I'm going to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm going to say no. I could see a lesser man doing that. I definitely agree that a lesser man would be doing that. Now she got to be all careful opening up the door. I could see a lesser man doing that, saying, you think you're somebody because you're the degree, you think you're somebody because of your job. I definitely think that that's a possibility and a probability in that. But a guy who's on his game, a guy who's making moves, a guy who's got his education, his house, his 401k, his stocks, he's got whatever, he's doing it, he's killing it. I'm gonna get with this girl just to humble her and see. No, because the narrative is that those type of men are looking for a wife who is nurturing. I got this money and I got this. I don't need that from you. What I need from you is nurturing, caring to take care of my kids. Now, fast forward, that's a 30, maybe even 40-year-old, 44 and under, right? For the 45 and up year old guys, right? That's why I made this about 50-year-olds, right? Those guys, maybe they don't care, right? I've dated women who doing their stuff. I don't care. I'm not intimidated by that. I walked away from jobs. I walked away from it because my health in my personal free time is more important to me. I am very stable. So I don't know what these people are talking about. I don't know what these people are talking. I find that men are doing this. How many men have you counseled? How many men have you talked to? Have you written a book about that? Have you done I'd love to read these comments about these men who are successful, who are saying, yeah, you know what, I just like to get women, tear them down. No, I would almost guarantee that these women, again, she's making the pronouncement there. I would almost guarantee that these men are saying, listen, she don't have enough time for me. That's a big thing with the guys in our age group, 50-year-olds. You ask men, you ask a man who's dating a girl, right? It's about timing. Either she's got kids who still need a little bit of attention, grandkids that she's tending to, she's still on her career, still making moves in her job, and I don't have no time. So if I want to go to the movies, or if I want to go away for the weekend, you can't do that. Then what are we doing? Right? Because that's the stage where I'm at in my life. I want to go away for the weekend. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I'm in a different place because I'm looking to move out the U.S. But that's me. But I'm talking in generalities, right? Generally of men. So listen, I don't know these men. So you're dealing. So I understand that there is not enough good men to go around. But you gotta be able to find them. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't know the answer to good women finding good men. I mean, you can't trust the dating apps because eventually they become corrupted. Somebody's got to create a high-powered dating app, and I think there was one at one time. I don't know how successful it was, but in particular for minorities or for black folks in particular, and maybe add some Asian. I mean, you got to be Asian, Hispanic, whatever, Latinos, and add them on there to really get these people to hook up. And obviously, you got to be open to culturally, dating out of your race or whatever. Because I agree that there's not enough good black men to go around. Some of them still want to play the field because, yes, they are in their 50s and they've gone through the divorces and they don't want to settle down. That's another issue. I acknowledge all that. But if you're looking for somebody, you can't. I'm just not convinced that men. I'm not convinced that men are out here intentionally trying to say, I'm going to hurt people. I'm going to hold you down. I'm going to keep you back. I'm just not convinced of that. So I'd love to see the data. I find that this is that, and these men do this, and these people just talk just to hear themselves talking. And that would be one thing if they're talking to hear themselves talking and sitting on the stage. Who knows where people got their credentials from. And the audience is just eating it up, making them feel better about themselves, making you feel better about yourself. Oh yeah, it's him. He just wants to tear me down. No. How much time did you have? Ask yourself that. He wanted to go to his family's cookout. He wanted to bring you to his family's cookout. He wanted to go to the movies. He wanted to go to dinner Friday night. Oh, you got this business meeting you got to go to. How long you think a man's going to deal with that? Particularly when they're in his 40s and 50s. Who really don't have that much time, right? It was the Dion Cole, that comedian. He said, if you're something like 50 years old or something like that, you got 20 summers left or something like that, right? So listen, you don't got that much time. Like, I don't got time to be doing all this. So let's figure this out. You want to be with me? You got to make time for each other. So, I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna get, every once in a while, I'm gonna stop, get some push-ups in, some dips, get my arm strength up. Go for a walk, listen to a podcast, and make it do what it do, right? So I want to drop this. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. And I'm not disagreeing that there is not enough high quality men, in particular, high quality men who want to get married or want to partner up, right? I can't, a lot of men are saying, particularly in the 50s, are saying they don't want the government involved, they don't want the state involved, they just want a nice woman who's going to be with them, right? I live in my place, you live in my place, or we live together, whatever they want, and they're saying that they don't want that. And, if you're pushing for marriage hard, that might be a deal breaker for those men because they don't want that. And I know that you want security, but they don't want that. They don't want all that. They don't need all that, right? So, But ask yourself first, have you made time for this man? Are you into the same thing that he's doing? Nurturing? Are you nurturing? That's what the men want. Stop with this other nonsense. Stop leading with your achievements, your education, your job. You don't care. We don't care. I don't know how many times we got to say it. We don't care. Not that it's completely 100% unimportant. For me, it would be nice. Okay, so you're stable. That's great. But I still want to know. I still want to know that you're nurturing. I still want to know that. I still want to know that. So, but are you making time for this man? Is it important to you? Are you coming back with dry comments? Are you not putting in as much effort as him? Are you playing this game? I texted you last. You texted me last. Thumbs up and heart and non-replies and it's a wild world out here, and a lot of guys are just fed up with it. I put up some screenshots before. Just watch those videos. Guys are just sick of it. Just sick of it. There's a video, I haven't seen it since. There's a guy who was walking through the woods. He was 50 years old. He's like, listen, I just don't want to be around people because 50-year-old men, we've been around the block, right? It's a crazy place to be in. If you're healthy and in shape, man, you've seen the world, right? You've raised kids, you've coached, you've done this stuff. You're right. You've been maybe through a couple of relationships. You might have people, friends have died and all this stuff, right? Your health, and you don't got time for nonsense. You don't have time for nonsense. And this guy was walking through the woods, just saying, "I'm sick of people." Just sick of it. Just sick of it. I just want a nice life. I just want to watch Netflix and chill. I just want to have a good time. I want to throw some stuff on the barbecue. I just want to sit in the back. I don't want to argue and fight and wrestle and have a tough time and wrestle through this maze of miscommunications and all this kind of craziness. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Hit me in the comment section. It's time for oil change. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Much love and peace.